Oh, Vanessa, I was reading your discussion board post where you talked about knowing of an experience where a counselor had a dual relationship with the client, or it was going towards a dual relationship with the client. And to me, that's never okay, because I look at it as the client being in a vulnerable situation and the counselor is there to help. So if you know that person is vulnerable and you feel an attraction coming between you all, then you should direct him or her to another counselor so you can practice self-care, as mentioned in the National Organization for Human Services under Ethical Standards for Human Service Professionals, adopted in 2015, and Standard 35 reads, human service professionals strive to develop and maintain healthy personal growth to ensure they are capable of giving optimal service to clients. And I feel like you need to personally remove yourself from that, not you personally, but that a counselor needs to remove themselves from that situation, because as I said before, you know that person is vulnerable. And it's up to you to practice self-care and also refrain from dual relationships, including romantic, sexual, and even friendships, especially when a client is under your care, because that is prohibited anyway. And that's referring to Standard 5 of the same organization, where it reads, human service professionals recognize that multiple relationships may increase the risk of harm or exploitation of clients and may impair their professional judgment. And that's from National Organization for Human Service, Ethical Standards for Human Service Professionals, adopted in 2015. And to me, that rings true, because if you have romantic feelings for somebody, or if you view them as a friend, you're not going to fully tell something that needs to be told about them. Like sometimes within the confidentiality things, there's a clause in there. If courts are requesting record, then you have to give them a record of what they're asking for. And if somebody's your lover or your friend, then you're going to fail to do that. So as a counselor, I feel like, where, as it's been stated, or as we all know, a client is always at the forefront of the relationship. Always. It's always about meeting the client's needs, not about meeting the counselor's needs. So I feel like the counselor needs, as you stated, the counselor needs to be proactive. If you see that relationship going in a direction it shouldn't go in, then the counselor needs to take the first steps to remove themselves. Give them the necessary tools to come out of their situation, whether that be directing them to another agency, directing them to another counselor, but it should not manifest, because then it'll really be a problem for both the client and the counselor, and the client is not receiving the effective help to move past his or her situation that has them in counseling in the first place.